Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande Haribol. I feel so fortunate to be back with all of you again. That that we have a worldwide team to work with together, and being on this path together. That is such a rarefied opportunity and atmosphere, rarefied atmosphere and rare opportunity. This is this is the real thing. What we're distributing is coming down from Krishna himself through his agencies, and they are all situated in the internal potency. We have what everyone's looking for. The world's drying up, and people are bumping into each other right, left, and centered due to not having this information. They create things that have unintended circumstances, and they don't know why, and they're really frustrated. But we know that by chanting Hare Krishna and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, that we immediately become happy and perfectly aligned. Anarto pasanam sakshat bhakti yoga madhoksaje lokase ajanato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam. We can ascertain the purpose for which Vyasadeva had compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam was specifically for the people in the world who don't know what to do. Anarto pasanam sakshat. They don't know that the miseries of life are coming from anartas, and they're ignorant of the process. But they don't have to be, because they're living entities, and living entities are really smart because they're part and parcel of Krishna. They just need a little opportunity, a little bit of love, a little bit of prasadam. And so we get to give it to them. And that's, nobody has a better job than us on the planet, anywhere, guaranteed. So we also get the opportunity of doing something that attracts the attention of the acharyas. Can you imagine that? That the great acharyas headed by Srila Prabhupada will look and say, you did that? You did that for me? You don't need to do anything else. This is actually our process. Acharyopasanam. You worship the acharyas by serving their order, and you don't need anything else, actually. You can bypass all the other processes and come to the top just by pleasing the devotees. So here we are today using the principles that we've all learned throughout our lives, but for the highest cause, which is to make sure that Srimad Bhagavatam goes out and gets situated all over the world. It's a time, Prabhupada said, that historians will look back and see the effect of this mass distribution of transcendental literatures. So we're here for a few years, and taking advantage of this is high sadhana. All the preparation, all the work we do, the calls, the writing circles on paper, the meeting with devotees again and again to figure out how to do this. It's all high sadhana. So thank you again and again for coming in and taking part in this extraordinary movement, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness and the book distribution movement within it. The seventh purpose of ISKCON is to distribute books, periodicals, magazines, so that we can achieve the aforementioned 6 principles. Aforementioned. The ones that came before, they can all be achieved by the process of book distribution. That means it's an omnibus service. You push here and everything else lights up. So, wow, we got a packed schedule today, and we will hear from devotees in New Zealand and Australia, Fiji, Japan, Malaysia, Thailand, and Hong Kong. Our team, which is ever growing and getting tighter. We're getting tighter together in our relationships and the way that we're working. So that's why we do this. So let's start off with some updates by regions. And we can start with Bhavasandi and representation from, she's giving the representation from the loft. And let's hear what's happening in New Zealand, if you would. You're on mute, but that's okay. After this long in the pandemic, we can all read lips, so you can just speak. We'll understand you somehow. Is it locked? You can't unlock it, the mute button? Okay. Anupul Save will get right on it. No problem.
Okay, it's sorted now. Thank you.
We'll fix it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's Bhadra Praneem is always a big adventure. There's a lot of anticipation. So at the moment, in the north part of New Zealand, we're still waiting on our sets from Germany. So we're pretty much out of English sets now. So we've got some foreign language sets, but we're really hoping that the English sets will arrive by Janmashtami, because we really want to have a strong plan for Janmashtami. So lots of book tables and presentations and things. But it's been going well. Kind of many hands make light work. So lots of individuals coming forward. People are coming out of nowhere and phoning the temple and asking for sets, things like that. And things like home programs, we've been getting pre-orders. So we've got quite a few pre-orders at the moment. But like I say, we're just waiting on those English sets to arrive. And when they do, we'll make a nice presentation of those, publicise that, and hopefully get more sets. So yeah, we're just asking for everybody's prayers that the sets will come here, definitely in time for Bhadra Praneem, but hopefully in time for Janmashtami. But we'll see what Krishna has planned. He might want to purify us and see how desperate we are. So we completely depend on him, but we'll see. And then different devotees are coming up with different things, like at Bhakti Lounge at their monthly Sankirtan festival. They've got 2 more before Bhadra Praneem. They'll be making some competitions. So devotees, if they pledge, if they make the if they present Srimad Bhagavatam like 16 times, and they get a prize, and those who distribute on that day, they also get a prize, prasadam and vouchers, things like that. So that'll get people motivated and attracted, and trying to get more people involved, just in the core book distributors, but the whole community involved. And then it definitely feels like a bit of a marathon. And because we've got a few different centers, some people have already completed their goals, some are kind of slow and steady getting through there. And there's a couple that are finding it quite hard, like when you're doing long distance running and you've just gone over halfway, you're starting to wonder if you'll actually make it to the end. And, some people start to consider, like, is this goal that I've made too big? Are we actually going to do it? Should we try and can we decrease a goal once we've made a goal? So I was also kind of going to ask about if you've got any tips or advice for centers that are feeling a bit apprehensive, like they've made a goal that's too big, and how are they ever going to achieve it, and they don't want to feel like they've let the community down or anything like that. So have you got any advice for teams that are in that situation?
Our experience here at ISV is that in very, very rare circumstances have we scaled back, because you don't know until it's all over what's going to happen. And it's kind of like driving your car when the when the little light goes on that says it's empty, and you're like, how much further can I do this? You try to keep going, well, maybe another 100 miles. If you ascertain how much you think it's too much. We had a case last year where someone hadn't calculated well. It was in another part of the world, and that team had just come up with a number that was really high. It was like 20,000 or something like that sets. And then, when we talked to that team about it, they said, well, no, we just picked a number because we figured Lord Chaitanya can do anything. So the best way we've found to set goals is to make a reasonable calculation as much as possible. And then if there's a gap, that's okay, as long as it's not it's so big that it seems absolutely impossible, like the 20,000 thing. Otherwise, one thing is you can always bring it down just a little bit and then go for the smash, as we say. In other words, try to smash the goal. And that can be helpful also. You don't look happy, so are satisfied by that. Do you have a sense for how much it is? Like how overwhelming is the goal?
Oh no, they're not. I mean, they're not huge goals like 20,000, but just in terms of the community, there's not like big, donors that have come forward. So it's very much, book distribution on the street, So.
Well, I think that it's if you go back and brainstorm with the group, maybe you've done this already, but if you go back and brainstorm and you say, like, here's the gap, are there any ideas? Where are the big donors? Like, are they in other parts of the world? I mean, just come up with a list of 23 things that could fill the gap. That's one thing that's possible. Otherwise, yes, please.
The team's been working really well, and they've got lots of ideas, and they've been working really, really hard. So, I mean, everything is in place. I think it's just waiting for the, yeah. Sometimes you endeavor really hard for something, and then Krishna will send it in a way you don't expect or something. So I guess just keep endeavoring in these ways.
I recommend
see if
it.
we can come up with,
Back in 2007, we had a huge goal here at ISV when we first started, what everyone thought was a huge goal. And then everyone got a little afraid. Are we going to hit it or not? And we decided to go for it. And being able to push over that line, we realized was one of the exciting aspects of the Krishna consciousness movement. Is sort of challenging. So if it's in reach, it's not like the 20,000 that seems so far out of reach, but you're just not sure how to do it. My advice usually is to just try to go for it and see what happens. Would anybody else like to comment from your other teams about actual experience you've had with this that could help Baba Sunday's team?
Maybe I can say something that
Yes,
might
please.
help a little bit, because we're very close to New Zealand. Well, one thing is we did have a temple scale back a little bit. Brisbane Temple scaled back their goal, and they've almost reached the new goal that they scaled back to. So I think sometimes scaling back a little bit can just help people to relax a little bit and feel they've got an achievable goal. Because I think they're going to smash their scaled back goal and get to where they wanted. And then another thing is just in Sydney, we're really finding this principle of a lot of people doing their bit is really empowering people who have never tried book distribution before to just go out and try. I know you mentioned a lot of your approach is on the streets in New Zealand. So here in Sydney, we've actually been in lockdown since late June. It's almost 2 months now, very strict lockdown. And it's really been a matter of devotees just talking to their reading group, their bhakti group. I'm part of a Western outreach. We've got a number of bhakti groups. And I just went to those groups and, I asked who was interested first. We had a little meeting and I said, who wants to participate? And then, who's got a set, who needs a set, can we sponsor a set as a group, who would like to sponsor? And then from that little meeting, some of those members then went to their other bhakti groups and said, hey, Bhadra Purnim's on, should we do something together as a group? And there's one lady, Kath, devotee, she went to her group. I think there's about 8 or 10 in that group. And just, I said, just give it a go, see what they say. And out of that, she got 3 sets sponsored. Well, one was taken by somebody who didn't have a set. I think 2, actually. 2 members bought their first set of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the rest of the group decided to sponsor a set on behalf of the group. So it may be that you've got devotees going out on the streets, but can they talk amongst themselves and find out, are there new devotees who don't have a Bhagavatam set yet? And the other thing I did that has really helped is just following the principles that have been set up, and that overflow principle that we start by reading the Bhagavatam, and we can 100% participate in reading the Bhagavatam. So I've started a Bhagavatam reading group as a offering for Bhadra Purnim. And there's about 12 to 14 members in there, all new devotees, and we're reading the Bhagavatam every week. And so from there also, you can't help but want to share the Bhagavatam once you start reading. So that would be my suggestion, would be just go back to who you've got and see, can they talk amongst their groups, friends, who wants to participate, here's how you can. Yeah.
And also you mentioned a principle I sort of alluded to, but didn't make it concrete, which was if you walk back the goal a little bit, then internally you can have a goal to smash it. And as Vilas Mundry Devi said, you can also help the devotees not feel overwrought because they feel like how this is impossible. So it just takes fiddling around with it, and each marathon you kind of get a sense like, oh yeah, we could have done a little more, a little less, but it's your goal. The goal, the purpose of the goal really is to motivate everyone. And if you find that it becomes too onerous, then you want to use it as a tool and walk it back just a little bit if you need to.
No, I mean, I think the principle of the goal setting is really great, because otherwise so much brain power wouldn't have gone into how are we actually going to do this. So yeah, I really like the goal principle, and yeah, it's an exciting adventure, and please bless us here in New Zealand that we'll get our sets and be able to distribute them.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dear Sri Panchatattva, please bless Baba Sandhi Devi Dasi's team and all the devotees in New Zealand that they can smash their goal. And please send them all resources, intelligence, and people to take sets. And may they succeed in to their heart's content. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your Herculean work that you're doing there. So now we're moving to Australia. And did you gave us a primer there already last month.
Yeah. Okay. And I just want to offer my obeisances to you, Vaisheshika Prabhu, and to all the devotees here. And thanks. This is really the best service I've ever had in my whole life. I'm so excited to be part of the team. So here in Australia, well, pretty much everything's going up. Pledges are going up. The number of devotees participating in this Bhadra Pune marathon are going up. Srimad Bhagavatam pre-order distribution is going up, and devotees are getting closer to their goals. So first of all, our pledges are now at 233. These are the goals devotees are aiming for. A month ago, it was 181. So, oh, we've got Melbourne on the top of Australia. That's okay. Where are we? Melbourne's up the top. I'm going to ask, now Melbourne is leading. They've already distributed 68 sets. And their goal is 80. And I'm going to ask their leader, Dvija Pitamba Prabhu, to please share with us in a little while, not just now, but in a little while, some of the strategies that they're using there. They've got some very dedicated and sincere devotees working really hard to achieve these goals. Most of these cities on the east coast of Australia are in lockdown right now. And so everybody's enlisted everybody they can to help, and that's been very inspiring. So Brisbane, their goal, okay, 25. Brisbane did scale back their goal to 15. That part hasn't been updated here, but maybe it's meant to be 25. I have a feeling they're going to reach it. They're already at 11. So everybody, please give your blessings to Brisbane temple devotees to be able to achieve success. Then we have the Gold Coast. They are 50% of the way to their goal, halfway. Goal of 4, I think there's only 2 devotees doing book distribution there. Very small centre. In Sydney, we have one missing. We have a new one, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But Sydney Temple, our goal is 50. We're halfway, just over halfway. We're at 26 sets. And I've talked about how we got there, and that's continuing. Everybody's just talking to everybody that they can. Kirtan Sydney has doubled their goal from last month. A tiny little centre that runs kirtan for people in the inner suburbs of the city. They pledged 2 sets. They've already gotten to 3, so they said we'll make a goal of 4. And then in Sydney, one more that has just come on board is the Hare Krishna Cultural Centre in the western suburbs of Sydney. They have pledged a goal of 50 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And so far they've distributed 1. They've only just started. But last year, they distributed 104 sets. So really praying for everybody to please give them their blessings too and empower them to be able to achieve their goals. Then we have Adelaide's very, very small centre again, just 1 or 2 devotees doing book distribution. They're on their way to 10. They'll be using their festival period to promote Srimad Bhagavatam. And then over in Perth, also another small centre who were quite, they were a little bit unsure about how many they would be able to distribute. They set a goal of 10 and they're halfway to their goal. So that is a little wrap up for Australia. And I just want to ask everybody, please, your prayers to empower and inspire all the devotees here to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, and so many new devotees. I know many joining in today, just starting book distribution for the first time, and really, enjoying this service so far. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Vilas Mundri Devi, and we are praying for you to smash all those goals. So I think you'll do it easily. Everyone can. There's 35 days left. No problem whatsoever. You'll see. Okay, we have Madhava Mohini from New Zealand, from the Bhakti Lounge. We're jumping back to New Zealand. Sorry that I jumped all the way across the ocean there. Is there an ocean in between? Yeah. Okay, please go right ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna everyone. So I was asked by Bhavasandhi to just share another negative story, just taking up from where I left off last time. We had the Zoom call. I was sharing negative stories from the Midya Marathon, and I asked if there was time to share more. So Bhavasandhi suggested that I just share another negative story today. So I don't have anything to report like latest from the last month or so, but just from the Midya Marathon, again, that we did in Auckland and Whangarei. So me and my partner, we were distributing books in Auckland, and we were having quite a bad day, as you do on marathon sometimes. So not much was going out. So in the evening, my Sankeetan partner suggested that we just go and do business to business in one of the suburbs. So it's called Papatoitoi. So we did that, and it was lots of Indian shops. So we thought, lots of Indian shops, and Indian the pious, so they might take whole boxes of Bhagavad Gitas, because we had a big goal that day and we hadn't achieved it, not even close to our goal. So we started going shop to shop, and we had a trolley. It was quite cold and kind of spitting a little bit of rain as well. So my Sankeetan partner and I were getting quite tired. She was getting really affected by all the rejections, because people were still saying no, they didn't want the books because they knew them. We have a brahmachari ashram there in the same suburb, so I think they know us quite well. So we were going to shop, and with not much success. But then we went to one shop where it was a nice, pious Fijian family. So they were looking and talking to each other really kind of quietly, trying to discuss if they want to take the Bhagavad Gitas, a box of Bhagavad Gitas. And then they said, okay, we don't want to take a box, but we're happy to take like 4 or 6 Bhagavad Gitas. We want to try and see if we can sell them in our, it was called a mini mart. We'll keep these books here and try and sell them. And if we sell them, they move fast, and we'll get in touch with you and get more. And I was like, wow, that's great that they'll sell the books in their shop. That's amazing. They'll do Sankeetan. And then, they made the payment and everything, and I got their daughter's number, who was very favorable. So as I was leaving, she said to me, do you sell Srimad Bhagavatam? And I said, yeah. And then she said, actually, a friend of mine has been wanting to buy that, but he wants it written by a specific person. And I was like, do you know who that is? And then she's like, no, but I'll have to ask him. I said, oh, yeah, you're welcome to share his number with me or my number with him, whatever you like. And then she said, yeah, I'll get in touch with you. So I left. I already had her number. So first thing next morning, of course, I called her and I asked her if she got a chance to talk to her friend. And she said, yeah, she did. So her friend, Akash, whose name is, and he's a young Indian boy. So she said, yeah, I spoke to him, and he wants to talk to you. So I've shared your number with him, but he'll call you when he can. He's working at the moment. I was like, please share his number with me as well, if you like. So she did. We got in touch. So he got in touch with me on WhatsApp. So we talked straight away because he was on his break. And he said, yeah, I've been wanting to read Srimad Bhagavatam. 3 years ago, I met a brahmachari outside of a Jewish shop, and he gave me the Bhagavad Gita, but I didn't read it. My friend borrowed it from me, so I didn't have it for a couple of years. But now I'm dating a Gujarati girl, and she's telling me all about Krishna, and I want to know more. So then he said 2 years ago, then he started reading the Bhagavad Gita. He got it back from his friend, and he read the whole Bhagavad Gita. He found it really interesting, and he's really into the reading his scriptures as well, because he's a Sikh boy. So he started trying to look for Krishna in his scriptures, like Guru Granth Sahib. It's the first time, actually, I'm from Punjab as well, but this is the first time I've met a Sikh who knows so much about his own scriptures. And he started reading, and he found that Krishna and Hari, like his name's everywhere in the Guru Granth Sahib, in the Sikh scriptures. So he got really excited, and he's actually studying his scripture in conjunction with Bhagavad Gita and trying to find Krishna's name everywhere. And so he knows all the stories of Nrsimhadev and all the different incarnations that are mentioned in the Sikh scriptures. And he's like, yeah, if anybody wants to talk to me, I can tell them that actually in the Sikh scriptures, like Krishna's name is everywhere. And all the gurus were meditating on Krishna. So he was like, he's such a preacher because he's been reading the Bhagavad Gita. So yeah, we made a time to meet him. We went to his work and took the Bhagavatam set. And then he talked to us for 45 minutes, basically preaching to us about how there's Krishna's name everywhere in his scripture in Guru Granth Sahib. And he really, really wants to read the Bhagavatam. So he got the Bhagavatam from us and paid for it. And we gave him some prasadam. And I'm keeping in touch with him. So he's been reading it. He reads it every day. He's really busy. He's trying to buy a house for his mom and dad in India, as all nice young Indian men do. So he's saving up, and he works 7 days a week. He doesn't have any time. Like, he just has time to go and talk to his fiance. And then he said in his lunch break, he takes 10 minutes to eat and 20 minutes to read Bhagavatam. So I'm keeping in touch with him. So hopefully he will start chanting one day. And yeah, that's the nectar story I wanted to share. Thank you.
This is one of the great success stories of this Kali Yuga, and with the patience that you took. And I just came from the San Francisco Rath Yatra, and I could see that the devotees that didn't have any compunction about going around and asking everybody, hey, would you like this? They just run into people that were ready for it. And good for you and your team. And that's a really inspiring story. When we hear that, we can remember that this is Krishna's arrangement. We're instruments. And if we act in that capacity, then anything can happen, even on the rainiest, darkest day. Lord Chaitanya Maharaj was doing this. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you
For bringing that story in.
Thank you for.
Now we're going to Melbourne. And we have in Melbourne, Dvija Pitambara Prabhu, who's going to give us a little update from there. Good to see you, Dvija Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble.
Mine to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to devotees. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity, Prabhu, and inspiring us in this great service. Here in Melbourne, we have been quite lucky. We have some really nice devotees going out. One of the Matajis from here has an amazing program because she distributes books pretty much full time, and every time she goes out, she distributes books. She makes contacts with the people. She takes their numbers, and then she has this WhatsApp group. So she sends out messages of just the Didi Darshans, just some quotes from Prabhupada or some other quotes inspiring them to read the books, and making some friendship and relationship. And once she gets to know them a little bit more, she takes their address, she drops some prasadam, and once she does it a couple of times, and then she slowly introduces the Bhagavatam, and then she encourages them, and most likely ends up giving them a whole set of Bhagavatam in another couple of visits. And like that, she has been distributing many Bhagavatams. And then, of course, we have many other devotees, many hands working on this. And so we have been able to distribute so many Bhagavatam sets, which has been quite nice. We are also, after these meetings, we have been quite, her name is Mahalakshmi Mataji. And and so here, inspired by your talks by Shishika Prabhu, we have started a program where we'll be doing weekend warriors, and we have about 100 devotees ready to go out on every weekend, and we have teamed them up into about 12 or 13 teams. We got the team leaders, we got the names for all these book distribution teams, and we'll be allocating books to them, and everyone is ready and fired up to go out. But just before we are about to go out, there has been a snap lockdown, and so we are stuck again in our homes, so we can't really go out for some time. So we're just waiting off, and we're quite inspired. Devotees are quite fired up. They're just calling up the colleagues and friends and family, just whomever they know in the contact list, and trying to distribute some books. And and then we haven't had English Bhagavatams for almost a month and a half something. So we've been just taking a lot of pre-orders. It's very interesting to be able to, we have never done this before, but it's very interesting to sort of see how people don't even know what the books look like, but they ended up buying the whole set, and they transfer you the whole $500. It's very impressive, and their devotees are quite inspired. So they're, I think that's really working. But yeah, we are really keen to have the Bhagavatams coming here soon, so we can actually show them and have probably more devotees come and accept them. So yeah, really like to seek the blessings of all the devotees, like to seek the blessings of Vaisheshika Prabhu. Please bless us so we can organize and manage all these enthusiastic devotees, and hopefully can do a lot of books here in Melbourne. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, that was amazing. And you know, you're invoking blessings by just making the effort and putting together the groups of devotees so that everyone can have the opportunity to do the Sankirtan is the best way to develop a community spirit, not just spirit, but also community, a wholesome community, because everybody needs to have this experience of feeling a little angst to spread the Sankirtan movement. That's where we actually make advancement, in the angst. So giving everyone the opportunity to figure out how to go around the obstacles. Think of Brahma when he was starting the universe and he was really frustrated and he sat down and thought, what am I going to do now? And then a boar came out of his nose. That's how you manage. You know, I mean, what do we know? Yeah, and so, you know, pray hard and try for this, and then you become a hero in the spiritual world. I mean, this is the greatest opportunity in the times when it looks the bleakest. That's when you get recognized in a big way, and you're never the same. Look at Dhruva Maharaj. I mean, you know, it was a tough circumstance, but he just went for it. I'm so impressed. Thank you so much for that report. Amazing. So let's see. Now we're going over to, excuse me, Fiji. One of my favorite devotees, Rukmini Mohan, is going to talk to us from Fiji, from the Fiji Islands. Please tell us, how's it going over there, Rukmini? Prabhu, good to see you again.
Thank you so much, Vaishisheka Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, Vaishisheka Prabhu, and my humble obeisances to all the devotees, Sankirtan devotees. Vaishisheka Prabhu and all the devotees, we are also seeking your blessings so that we can continue to be part of this wonderful Bhadra campaign. So far, we have been able to distribute 8 sets. And we just have only one more set left here remaining in Fiji, as far as I'm aware. So we'll try to distribute that. But going forward, I would like to work with the devotees and at least order 50 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. So once we have that 50 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam here for next year's campaign, now I feel a bit more encouraged and would like to, you know, work with the devotees here to set a target of 30 Srimad Bhagavatam sets for next year. Because at the moment for this campaign, we really do not have Bhagavatam sets here available with us. We just have one more set, I think, and I will try to distribute that. So that's the update that I have.
Rukmini Prabhu, I know you have special circumstances over there, but I just want to mention that the early library party that Prabhupada started, where devotees went around to professors.
I have a Viber group in which there are a lot of ISKCON well-wishers and devotees as well. So we were promoting via the Viber groups. And we did mention that Srila Prabhupada wanted that every respectable person has a set of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And for the, when we distributed the first set, we took the picture of the person, Adrian, and actually it was Suzi's, Bhaktin Suzi's picture with the Srimad Bhagavatam set. And when we showed it on the Viber group then people became interested. So I think pictures do help, you know, with family, with the Srimad Bhagavatam set. So that's how we were able to distribute these 8 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. But as I said, Vaishishika Prabhu, when we going forward from here, we will like to get more sets of Srimad Bhagavatam here in Fiji and set a much higher goal, around between 30 to 50 Srimad Bhagavatam sets for next year.
Thank you so much, Rukmini Prabhu, for the update. I'll mention at this point that the early library party through which Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, in the early library party, which was very successful in going to universities all over the world and meeting with professors, getting their acquiescence to buy a set of Bhagavatams for their, or books, not just Bhagavatams. They were the books that Prabhupada was publishing. They were being offered in as standing orders. So what a standing order is, it means that you convince the people that they should have the book, but it's not available yet. And many of them signed up to get books that weren't even written yet. They said, we're going to write all these books and you're going to get them. The fact that the physical copy isn't in any particular place at any time isn't an obstacle at all. You just have to assume the sale and tell them that's how it is. Don't think that you have to have books there in order to sell them. You don't. You absolutely don't have to have them there. Get the pre-order. It's just like when you ask for a credit card on the street. If you just tell them that's how we do it. Like a lot of times people say, well, I don't have any cash. We say, great, we don't take cash. We just take MasterCard, Visa, American Express. And then you just say, this is how it is. And so you're like, no, we don't hand the books over right now. They're coming, they're very rare and they're coming from Germany and it's special and it's COVID. That's a blanket excuse you can use anywhere. So it's slowed down, but this is how we do it with everybody. It can make a difference. We're delighted to hear about the explosion that's happening there in Fiji, how devotees are reaching their goals and so forth. Keep in mind, there are 35 whole perfectly good days left, which means like we only started last year 35 days ahead of time to do 25,000 and everyone said it's impossible. We've only done 2,000 worldwide. How are you going to do 10,000, which was the goal? And we ended up doing 25. So don't count out Lord Chaitanya. He's standing there ready to hand over the whole thing to you. Just go for it. That's what makes life fun. Guess what, everybody? We got a special break with a movie. It's a 2-minute break, and we're going to show a feature film. So provide your own popcorn, and here we go. Come back in a couple minutes.
So we have to simply take instruction from Guru, and if we execute that to our heart and soul, that is success. That is practical. I have no personal qualification, but I simply try to satisfy my Guru. That's it. My Guru Maharaj asked me that if you get some money, you print books. So, there was a private meeting talking, some of my important God brothers also there. It was in Radha Kunda. So, Guru Maharaj was speaking to me that since we have got this Bhagavajar and Marble Temple, there has been so many dissensions. And everyone is thinking we occupy this one or that one, that one. I wish therefore to sell this temple and the marble and print some gold. Yeah. So I took up this from his mouth that is very fond of books. And he told me personally that if you get some money, print books.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the feature film. It's so heartening, isn't it, to see Prabhupada there directly. He put out that open order to everybody. And it doesn't, if you just try a little bit, you'll see that you enter right into the internal potency just by trying, because Prabhupada said it. And if you try to help out in any way, then you'll be blessed. And the people you come in contact will be blessed. Bhavna Khatri wants to know how long it is. Oh, thank you, Oily Tang, for saying 1.5 hours. That is correct. The correct answer. All right. Well, let's see. Next, we're moving as we can through Zoom to various other parts of the world. And one of my favorite parts of the world is coming up right now in Japan. So let's welcome our Japanese representatives. Ananta Garanga Prabhu, are you there? Who's going to be speaking for the Japanese today? Amazing things are happening in Japan. Dozo. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Oops, you have a weak connection there.
Am I audible now?
You try again. Go.
Yeah, so thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And so if I remember last time when we give the update, we were actually not sure how we will move ahead with the distribution. But within this month, we have done quite a lot to go near our goal. So as you know, this is Japanese speaking country and we have English Bhagavatam only. So we are mostly targeting, generally we target English speaking supporters and donors and guests. But this time we have done, we just tried with Japanese devotees also. But to our surprise, like Japanese people were also easy to take English Bhagavatam. Just hearing if they keep Bhagavatam set at their home, what advantage it gives them. So we have given Bhagavatam sets to some Japanese devotees also. And we have also reached out to different people who were not able to come to temple actually because of this pandemic. And we were actually surprised when we called them or the devotees called them that they were so happy to receive the call. And most of the times they said like, oh, we were waiting for this opportunity to have this. So actually last 1 month we had very good experiences. And like for New Zealand, like they were saying like about the goal, when we also decided the goal, 25 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, we were not sure how we will do it. And this time what we did actually is we contacted the people where we found least possibility of them taking the Bhagavatam sets. And we have found that the result is much more positive when we go with that mindset. And that's how I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu works, that we have to just go and ask. We also have got good sponsorships from Indian supporters that has helped us to distribute the Bhagavatam sets. And now actually we are also taking some pre-orders because the Bhagavatam sets that we have in English are finished. And we have few Hindi Bhagavatam sets, but we try to do, but we try to work on if somebody needs Hindi, and we are now in process of ordering next Bhagavatam sets. So I think what we have experienced this 1.5 months, we were actually talking with devotees that because of pandemic we are not able to go to each place, but we are calling. And so that has actually helped us to do the book distribution. because we can be right now, like I'm also traveling, but in just I have to make, devotees have to make calls. By that call, actually, we are able to get the orders. So we were just talking like this pandemic has actually helped us to get in touch with more people and the new ways of distributing the books. So we don't have to go first to meet personally each and everyone. And we are taking the orders and we are sending by post. That has worked very well. So we still have some time left, and we will try to do whatever Bhagavatam sets we have. We actually have only Hindi. Couple of sets we have kept in temple. So and we will try to do whatever possible. Shishika Prabhu and all the devotees. Request to Shishika Prabhu and all the devotees that please pray so that we can more Bhagavatam sets, whatever we have in our stock. We also get the new order from BBD so that we can do more in next 1.5 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ananta Karunga Prabhu. Great to hear from you from Japan. And does that mean you're only 2 sets away from hitting your goal, according to the map?
Yes. Yes.
So can you smash that goal?
Yes. We can.
Okay.
Because we have reserved the 2 sets, last 2 sets that we will use.
All right, good. Well, please feel free, and this goes for everybody, please feel free to smash your goals. There's no harm. No one will feel bad about it if you go way past them. It's okay. And don't worry about next year. It's like, oh, now we have to do more next year. Don't worry. Throw caution to the wind and just go for it with abandon. Lord Chaitanya will fill in the blanks. No problem. Thank you so much. All glories to the Japan Yatra. We have some really big breaking news right now. We have the temple president from Taipei on the call today, and some others also. First time on. So I just wanted to mention, they're checking it out, but we're really excited to have Taipei on here, one of my favorite places on the planet. And thank you, dear devotees from Taipei, for joining in on this team. This is really exciting to fill in that whole area with the wonderful things that you're doing there. Okay, now we're going to go to Malaysia. And today, speaking on behalf of Malaysia, because my old pal Chiranjeev Prabhu isn't there available today, we have Patitatarana Jagannath Prabhu, who brings light and energy to this meeting every time he speaks and shows up. Thank you very much for being here, Prabhu. Tell us,
Thank you so much.
how's it going down there?
Oh, very good, fantastic. And now Malaysia is facing through. And before that, Chiranjeeva Prabhu sent his Dandavad Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees here, and also my obeisances to everyone. Malaysia is now going through a very chronic COVID situation. Things are getting bad here, and with all this instability in government and all this. So, so far, Prabhu, that just to tell you that up to yesterday, we have made 340 sets of Bhagavatam, and we have another 160 sets to go. So I think the total target was 500, if I'm not mistaken. Can you hear me? Okay. So that's the thing. So basically, in Malaysia, that what we did, we came out with this idea about this Gita Gyan program. This Gita Gyan program is like 18 days program that discuss one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day, just the essence, all right, just what 6, 7, around less than 10 verses, and we explain just in 1 hour. And we did that program, and like I myself have today we are doing batch 4, and I have roughly around 200 old students that I've trained so far, and all of them are not they all are non-devotees, and with some is some Sai Baba Center and Sri Ravi Shankar and all these other types of centers. So I thought this is the best opportunity to make use, whereby For 18 days, you are with them. You build a very good relationship and good rapport. All this through Zoom. And to my amazement, Prabhu, that I always encourage all the students to go out and distribute books. They are not even devotees. They don't know anything about Hare Krishna. So I came out with this formula RDC. I said, read Bhagavad Gita, distribute Bhagavad Gita, and chant 16 rounds. You are guaranteed to go back home, back to Godhead. And they thought, is that all? Yes, that's all. Do we need to have altar? No need. Do you have? No, just don't do anything. Read your books, distribute them, and chant 16 rounds. And through this, Prabhu, that through all this, through the students who are brand new, who are not even a devotee, and they said we have already made something like 2,500 Bhagavad Gitas in last 4 months. And in my group itself, we distributed 40 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. And recently also we have this program from, I mean, there's a plea from Cambodia. They wanted some books because they don't have enough cash or something like that. So I just spoke to my group, and immediately all of them came forward and sponsored 2 sets of Bhagavatam and 40 sets of Bhagavad Gita, plus many varieties of books. So all of these are going to be shipped next week to what they call to Cambodia. So all these things inspired by this Chiranjeeva Prabhu, because I really have no idea. Because my target for this year is to distribute 5,000 Bhagavad Gita. That was my target. So far, I've hit half for 2005. And Bhagavatam was not in my idea because first it's big and it's expensive. And I was thinking, how am I going to do it? You know, that then Chiranjeeva Prabhu said, no, you have to do it. So since he's my Siksha Guru and I just follow him, and I said, okay, let me think about it. So the method that we do, Prabhu, is actually the thing is just like multi-level method. Or in other words, like when I read that Prabhupada's Leela he just got to know one person. And through that one person, entire thing started. So I always believe it takes one to conquer. So once I got one person to agree to this book, and when they start reading, and I just closely follow up, I just tell them, how wonderful is this book? How beautiful is this book? Yes, multi-level method, exactly. Yes. So that one person, I said, okay, are you happy? Yes, I'm very happy. All right, why not you just introduce 3 of your friends? Let the mercy to go to them. And I started with Krishna's grace. I was given 20 people to start with. All right, not 1, but 20. So through that 20 new people who came for the Gita Again program, and I told them, no, you take a book. So I start to bundle up. Said, you have to take 5 Gita. I don't sell 1. You take 5. Keep 1 for yourself and give others. Because my initial target was 1,000 Gita, that I was thinking 1 home, 1 Gita concept. And Chiranjeeva Prabhu said, well, 1 home, 1 Gita is too little. He said 1 person, 1 Gita, or that means 1 home, 5 Gita. So it started that way. So then I was talking through that program, and I start to cultivate them. Then I said, okay, now you start to have, why not you just give the mercy to others? You know, it's like more into like motivational, charismatic way of doing. And eventually that devotees start to distribute them. You know, they start to post in their WhatsApp group, in their status, in Instagram, in Facebook. And I just made a template, right? Send your name, your contact number, and your address, and bank in the money into this account. That's all. So once they bank in, they send the detail to me, and I immediately start sending book. You know, so through that way, all the people. So once they send to them, because I have all their database, so they have to send to me the contact. Then I will just send them a thank you letter and say, I hope that you enjoy the book. I hope that you're doing well. And then I said, if I have time, I would like to call you. Tell me what is the best time to call you. I just give them a slot. I don't ask what's the time that you can give me, but I said, I'm available at this time. Tell me which time that suits you. So when I have opportunity, you say, okay, you call me at this time. Then I just call them and talk to them. And through that, we have a chance again to develop new friendship, become friend. Then I tell them, that Gita Again program is coming again. You should come and join us. And why not? I have this Bhakti Vriksha on every Tuesday. I'm doing Bhagavatam. Every Thursday, I'm doing a Bhagavad Gita class. Why not just come and have a look, be my guest? So once they come there, then I know they are there. So my first intention in my mind is straight away to convince them to be a book distributor. So that is the goal. So so through that program, then they come. Oh, very interesting. I say, will you like to distribute books? Just imagine this is just a book that can give you a lot of bliss. It can just make you very excited in life. At this particular moment, like pandemic moment, people are very frustrated. Do you want to be happy? You know, the happiness is beyond that what you can think of. You say, well, I can try. Okay, I just send you a bundle. All right, I send you a bundle. Just try to distribute among your friends. And you know what, Prabhu? The miracle of book distribution is unbelievable. It is beyond the word can say. Because the devotees here, of course, they are seasoned. Okay, they say, yes, we have to distribute book. They say, because they all understood it very theoretically. All right, yes, we have to do it. Yes, I agree. But these new people are like a brand new people, like a brand new baby who born, so when they come in, straight away put this concept of book distribution. Then they say, and I say, oh, I feel so good. Really? Then why not you take more books? Then you take more books and do it. And they were all doing massive distribution, Prabhu. That one girl, she's a staff nurse in Singapore. She have taken 2 sets of Bhagavatam for her and for her sister, and she donated 1 set of Bhagavatam. Then she have taken all the books. Somehow or other, we send it to Singapore, and she carries a Bhagavad Gita wherever she go. She get into a Uber and a Grab, we call it Grab here in this region. So you just get into that car, and he says, while traveling, he said, you're working so hard, right? The driver said, yes, I am. But how long are you going to go on doing like this? Do you want to be born again and to do this again? Do you enjoy your life? If you're 50 years old, your past 50 years, is it good? And the guy was so surprised. He said, yeah, do you want to start all over again? Well, no. Then you take this book, you will never come back here again. So she start to, I give all these ideas, but they start to speak very innocently. They start to speak very innocently, and she's this thing. And of course, there's another outreach program that we're doing is preaching to the Chinese, especially in Malaysia and Singapore. So through this program, and this girl has been preaching to all the Chinese. I say, don't concentrate on Indians. Go and get Chinese. That's the biggest target that we want to do now. All right. So through that, we have managed to go for it, and we have distributed. There's many Chinese devotees are coming in, and we have mass distribute Bhagavad Gita, because my target is to make 50 Bhagavad Gita, because this is the 50th anniversary. Prabhupada came to Malaysia, so we have done 41 up to now. So we've got another 9 more, and we have another 2,500 Gitas to go. And I seek all your blessings. So like just now that Mataji from New Zealand, she was asking, very simple. Work with the person that actually sold the Gita. That's all. You don't need to look for, don't need to go everywhere. Talk to that one person, and that one person can introduce you 3%. And work with that 3%, and that 3% can give you another 3. It's going to be what? 9. And 9, 27. And it multiplies. And this math is really, really accurate, and it's really miracle. So that's all, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. And seek all the blessings that we can actually hit the target of
Patita Tarana Jagannath Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Wow. Well, you're now we understand how Malaysia is doing so well. This is Utsahan. Prabhupada told His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj once, when he set up a bookstore, books in a special display and not many sold. And Prabhupada said, yes, that is because my books sell by the enthusiasm of my devotees. And we can see it with you, Prabhu. And I really liked the ways that you talked about getting new people involved. They're so innocent, and they can do it. They can do it. And it's a very edifying experience for them. They get right into the flow of the Sankirtan movement. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for lighting up the world and lighting up our Zoom room today, for sure. Well, now we're jumping over to, and this is also breaking news. For the first time, Bhavatarani Devidasi from Hong Kong is joining us. And they're just getting involved today, but they're gonna appear. She's gonna appear here on the screen and tell us how it's going over there.
Hare Krishna, Pranam,
Hare Krishna.
and all the Vaishnava. We are just reviving the book distribution in Hong Kong. We have, at the moment, Hong Kong is a small temple, like I think the Soho Street Temple, and we don't have ashram devotees. So now we are like turning to a congregational kind of a temple with no full-time temple brahmacharis like that. So it has been very hard to distribute books on the streets in Hong Kong. People are not interested and materialistic, you see, and or maybe now people are more involved in politics. So, but still something are going on, and like we have the weekly Sankirtan party. They go around Harinam and distribute some books, but in small quantity. And our Indian Mataji, Sri Radhika Mataji, originally from Malaysia, she and her husband Bhaktivinoda Prabhu has been holding kirtan program at many Indian house, and in every program they distribute like 20-30 books like that, and it's nice. And recently we started the free book distribution program, because this is a traditional culture in China that the Buddhists has been distributing free books they don't charge on the Buddhist scripture. So you can get it for free in vegetarian restaurants like that. So we try to copy that, and we have placed books in a few restaurants and a yoga studio so far, and some shops. So we just starting, like from July, we just started this, and a few devotees came forward and is doing this service. And then we also attended the book fair every year in Hong Kong. Also, it is like it's a big business, but our booth didn't get so much business. So we are thinking ways how to break the lock of Sankirtan in Hong Kong, how we can improve our sale. So in the beginning, I thought about Srimad Bhagavatam set. It seems like impossible to sell a set to people. It's quite difficult. But after hearing so many devotees' inspirational talk, then I think maybe it's possible. We don't have a goal yet. Maybe at least we will sell one set. Thank you for your association.
Thank you so much. I feel like we have our communities are kindred, because we don't have brahmacharis either here at ISV, and it's all community based, and it's a joy to work with everybody in the community to get into book distribution. And I really love the thing you said at the end about setting a goal. One of the mantras that we've had on this team, the worldwide team, is something more than 0 and not less than 1. And as soon as you just set a goal, 1's okay, whatever you want, and then you're on the map. And it's something magical happens once you get on the map. Show the map again, please, Anukul Seva. Just show what it looks like. You know, even the leaders, when they come on here and they look at it, they start getting really into the map. Why is this like that? And how come there's not more here? So maps look like this, and we would love to have you on the map. So your suggestion of at least one set is a good idea. You can register that, and then everything changes, and the energy comes flowing in as soon as you set a goal for even one. Then you'll notice that it'll start happening. I used to distribute free books in Hong Kong too, many years ago. I always stopped there and distribute free books. His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj gave me carte blanche to distribute as many free books as I wanted on the streets there. It was ecstatic. Thank you for joining us. We're really happy to have contingency from Hong Kong, such an important and strategic place in the world. And we look forward to your association. And yes, please. Shall we put the 1 on the map?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. Anukul Seva Prabhu is doing it right now as we speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ojay. Okay. Let's see. We've got a few announcements about the campaign that's going on worldwide. What we're talking about here on this side of the planet is being discussed in Europe and India and Africa, everywhere. And devotees are feeling the same angst that we're all feeling in this room, because that spiritual angst is what makes all the advancement in the world possible. So let's look at our slide presentation just to get a little orientation towards what's happening and what the goals are. And thank you, everybody, while we're waiting for this to come up, for taking your time to give attention. Anything can happen when you give a little attention to the Sankirtan meetings, because all you have to hear is one new idea to change everything. It changes it all. Just pick up one little idea. This is our branding for this whole Bhadra campaign. As a reminder, this was sitting under our nose for decades and we didn't see it, that there was a day advertised in the Bhagavatam that says, if you give away a set of Bhagavatams on this day, you'll go back to the supreme destination. And always book distribution, of course, anything works well when you have an end in mind and a clear goal. But it's specifically helpful for book distribution because it's so quantifiable, isn't it? You have a certain number of books in a case, and you can count how many are missing at the end of the day. And there's nothing so satisfying as an empty case and breaking down the cardboard box and saying, those books are out there now. So the Go to Goloka was an international campaign. All the GBCs in the world signed on to it. We have photos to prove it. Everyone's standing with the sign. And it is in the Shastra. So this is a vibrant kind of goal that we have to offer to other groups of devotees around the world. And we want to fill in the map. So spread the word, be advocates. Bhadra Purnima this year is on the 21st. September 20th, 2021. In India, it's on the 21st. So it's globally specific goal, but we have 35 days left, right? Anukul Seva? There it is.
Yes, Maharaj.
35 days to Bhadra. That's an eternity. That's an eternity, right? Patita Tarna Jagannath Prabhu, tell us.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. It's an eternity. Okay, 35 days to go. Next one says that the goal worldwide, and we're all contributing to this, every single set counts, is 25,000. If you put all those sets in one temple, there won't be any room to fit the devotees for Mangalartik. It'll go to the rafters. Just think what kind of impact that has on the world. Full sets of books going out. We need to do a little damage to the Kali Yuga. It's getting out of hand. And this is the great revolution that takes place through the distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam that's mentioned. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abhadyavatyapi. Namanyanantasya yashonkitanya shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. This viplava means it turns the world of Maya on its head. The Srimad Bhagavatam, there's nothing like it anywhere in the creation. So this is a worthy goal. Advocate it and just try for it. Lord Chaitanya will make it all happen. We're going to have another big yajna this year, this time at Naimisharanya. We've lined up the spot, and it's the Bhadra Dan Yajna. So everybody who contributes to this campaign, we're gonna have a banner, an electronic banner going across the screen that names every single person. Of course, you have to send them in because our database doesn't know who they are until you tell us. But we'll put them all in there, and they'll scroll all day long. And the people who helped and all of the Patita Tarana Jagannath's new people can watch and see the fruits of their work, and so can we all from all over the world. It's so fun to watch that. So there'll be a yagya. Our taglines this year: connect, learn, and transform. There'll be presentations worldwide about the Bhagavatam, and then we're going to have this yagya going on there to culminate the yagya and offer all the scores and all the names of the people who have helped out will be presented to Krishna and say, Krishna, these are the people who did it. So we sent merch out. First one to respond was His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj with his great enthusiasm. He sent me that picture with his band on his wrist and the Get Set Go. And devotees around the world, I got Nareshwar Prabhu wrote me a couple days ago, said, I got them. So I have mine. Nothing better than merch, I can tell you that. And you get a little merch and it changes your whole life. I feel happy now. I got my merch, I can go anywhere. So get your stuff, because this is a vibrant campaign and it's really exciting. And we want to let as many people know as possible. What is this? Snap a photo and video and post it. Tell us about that, Anukul Seva. Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj, we just want to create a little buzz on socials and share the overflow. So once you all receive your merchandise, please take a moment to take a photograph, take a little video, tag us, use the hashtag #GoToGoloka. We want to spread the joy and the word across the internets. So yeah, we look forward to seeing all of your smiling faces and videos.
I'm taking one right now.
Thank
I
you.
have to start my phone up again. Okay. Okay. Guess what? We got more breaking news. Vinod Paresamy, who, please tell me which name I should use for you, but has 2 more sets sponsored during this session. Everyone give me one of these. Come on, work with me now. Celebrate. 2 during the session. Fantastic. Shraddhan, this is an idea whose time has come. When somebody passes away, there's something we want to do for them. There are philosophies in the world that say, okay, somebody passed away, they didn't exist anyway, so what does it matter? I mean, if you're a voidist, then like, who died? Nobody. What's the big deal? And if you say everything comes from matter, I mean, Krishna makes this argument in the Bhagavad Gita, like, what are you crying about anyway? Well, for us, we do have something we can do. There's a way to get closure. You can do something for those who have departed. And so when somebody passes away, we have our shraddhan to benefit departed souls. You can sponsor books for them. Bhagavatam sets, all different types of books. And then you can get on a schedule so that, every year on the anniversary of the departure, the books go out to benefit that person. Just think what they're thinking, sitting in some dull planet somewhere, and then they find out somebody sponsored some books for them. And how is that going to affect them? Patita Prabhu, yes.
Prabhu, I would like to share, add on that, the Shraddha ceremony, that there's in Hindu month, there's a month of Adi, that they do that Amavasya. So they do this kind of Shraddha for the departed. And I made use of that opportunity just last week Sunday, correct. So I took that opportunity and I did this 700 Gita reading online. And while we are doing that, we told all the people, please come and join in and let's read Gita together. Just the translation only. So I just give 10 verses per person. And on that day itself, that one day, Prabhu, that's a biggest hit for me is we have managed to distribute 4 sets of Bhagavatam and 411 Bhagavad Gita. Just in that 4 hours, we read the entire Gita. So while we are listening in between, I just tell them, well, you can do this in memory of your parents. You can do this in memory of your forefathers. So I think that's something that we can really make use of it, Prabhu.
Thank you very much for the testimonial. It is a really good thing to do for people, something tangible. They'll be into this. People will be into it. So find out more about it. We have a website you can go to get more information, and we'll work with you in your local area to get you oriented towards the program. It's shraddhana.com. I'm signing up because I've always wanted to, I did some programs for my parents when they left, but I'd really love to have a regular program for them every year. And anybody else that I can think of that I can put on that, where books go out on their behalf. Okay, so check into that, please. Also, in the course of our big push last year, we found out that the villages in India are huge. There's millions of them, and they're really under siege. Everyone's going after the villages in India and trying to convert people into this and that. We've found that wherever the Bhagavatam sets go, the people are fortified. They start reading them in the village. It brings them into the fold. They understand what their heritage is, and it protects them. And it's a huge opportunity so that we can distribute millions and millions of sets of Bhagavatams to the villages and others of Prabhupada's books. So it's a part of the way we're preserving Vedic culture that's being depleted in India right as we speak right now. So we can do something. We're not going to take this anymore. We're going to spread Bhagavatam to every town and village, just like Lord Chaitanya asked. Right? Okay. Anukul Seva, what else you have? Oh, there was an information thing there. You can check in more. Write this down. Info@bb. Yes, please tell us.
Yes, Maharaj, just if communities are interested to get more information about how to send books to the villages, please write to us and we'll establish the connection for you.
Okay. Let's see. How is the worldwide score right now? Do we know? I think tomorrow we'll get a better idea because we're checking in with the other half of the planet tomorrow, and we're going to get a better idea. It comes more into focus as we get closer, but we have the pledges, right?
Yes, Maharaj, our pledges are very close to 25,000.
Yeah, we always say they're getting close because we don't want to make anybody feel overconfident. So, but everything counts. We can't count the more we can fill in the map in every part of the world, fill in the map. Every one Bhagavatam set counts. And if you do more, if you do 500, that's okay too. Okay, so there's a tracker again this year. It worked really well last year. Tracker.bhadra.com, bhadracampaign.com, forgive me. And you can check in there and put in your scores so that we can track them, especially for the big yagya that we're doing in Naimisharanya, so you can see what's going on. And you can get all your resources, whatever you need. There's tons of information at bhadracampaign.com. So join the group on WhatsApp and Telegram so that you can see what's happening. Nikunja Vasani is saying that there's a reading of the book called Our Family Business by Gopal Champaprabhu. Let's carry the translated books for our spiritual master, just like Krishna carried the logs for Sandipani Muni. Thank you for that reminder, Nikunja Vasani. Nice. Well, dear devotees, we've done it again. We've got ourselves involved in a transcendental campaign. And we are hurtling through this universe being, moved on by the time factor. But those who spend their time in this activity, spreading the Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world, they're exempted from the process of birth, death, old age, and disease. Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajan. What other kind of bhajan can you do besides help the conditioned souls in the world that will please Krishna as much? He says so in the Bhagavad Gita. No one pleases me more than somebody who's preaching this to the devotees. And they're all out there, poor people. It's all so dry out there. They don't get any happiness whatsoever. And so don't be afraid to tell them and give them the Bhagavatam sets and make sure that you pour out your love to these people, give the mercy as much as possible, ask everyone, leave no stone unturned. And we will ride to victory come up on September 20th together. We're one team. We're all working together as one team all over the world. And it's a good uniting force too. Kali Yuga divides people. Just keep that in mind. Don't fall for it. We want to come together, and we have the best excuse in the world to work together as a team. And that is that Prabhupada wanted us to pool our resources. He said, centralize book distribution, make sure you work really hard together, use all the best practices. And that's what we're doing. So you never go broke taking a profit. And we're taking the best profit of all, which is getting the mercy of the disciplic succession through Srila Prabhupada. Dear devotees, I'm so touched that you joined. Thank you very much. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dear Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, Shri Shri Lakshmi Sringadev. If you so desire, please empower our team to smash our goals and to act as instruments selflessly to spread the Sankirtan movement all over the world and lean into this book distribution to defeat Kali Yuga once and for all. Om Tat Sat. Everyone who agrees with this prayer in part or in whole, please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mantra Kalpatarishya, Kripa Sindhubheva Cha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.